Hello, pets. Welcome back to the new game. This is the one that everybody selected. This is Armored Core 3. If this goes well, we will continue with Silent Line, which is the sequel to this. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start a new game. I'll explain a lot about the story so far. In the previous Armored Core games, the world went into a geopolitical war that ended in a corporate war that ended up causing the world to go through a nuclear winter. And we are now hundreds of years after all of that started. The central building that we live in is controlled by an AI that controls everything. Everything's controlled by this app. There are 3 major corporations involved. We'll learn about them later. And you are a pilot of an armored core. You become a Raven pilot, which is the elite of them. Your job is to be a mercenary. Pick up contracts, run the contracts out, go wherever your handler tells you to go to. If this sounds familiar, it's very similar to a lot of the MechWarrior Battletech games or any other big mech games. So you might see some of those in there. You might see some themes from MechWarrior. You might see some themes from Gundam. You might see some themes from other various mech-based games that you've played or watched. So kind of give you an idea there. But we live in this stack. And the layers in the stacks are always entertaining. So, vibration, we can turn that on, roll difficulty mode. All sounds are good. We should be good there. Go on to the next screen. Our pilot name. Now this is our pilot's code name. So, let's see. We have standard numbers, Roman numerals, upper and lowercase Latin characters, upper and lowercase Greek characters. We also have generic symbols, mathematical and otherwise. So I'm going to go with a Greekish version of my name. We are Bella as usual. And we'll go with the Greekish version. Works for me.
One entity ruled the world. It was simply called the Controller. The Controller handled the major decisions of everyone's life. People took it for granted that the Controller would handle every aspect of their lives for them. Under the rule of the Controller, people lived safe yet uninspired lives of a promised prosperity. As time went on, several powerful factors known as corporations came on the scene. In their separate struggles to gain absolute power, the corporations waged war upon each other. The Controller even manipulated the corporations' war. All was going according to the plans of the Controller, but somehow the forces of chaos began to rise.
I briefly explained part of that, so. This is our first training mission to get our Raven rank.
We're nearly there. I'll go over the mission one more time. Your objective is to eliminate all forces occupying the city. The targets are battle MTs. Complete the mission, and you'll be registered as a Raven. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't blow it.
So we're ready to be reloading the mission at this point. So we should be okay now. I just gotta take into consideration that we are not using the optimal solution for controls. So, MTs versus ACs. Think about MTs as anything that can be lightly armored and support a weapon that is not a vehicle. This world has vehicles, it has MTs, and it has ACs. Then there's elite vehicles. That are even more deadly than ACs. They're elite ACs. You don't fight them too often. They're usually like, I think they're like level bosses. They're usually the commanders of armies and so on. I guess.
All enemy units destroyed. Not bad for a newcomer.
So, like I said before, we were doing the emulation. This time we're not. We're doing it native on the PS3 and the PS2. So I was going to do it on the emulation so that you can read the text easier because the resolution is a little higher. But because that was failing horribly, we have to go this way, which is fine. So now we are through the first mission. After every mission, you're pretty much going to have email. So here's your controller. This message notifies citizen some number of their authentication as a Raven, which includes the right to operate ACs in support of activities registered through Global Cortex. Keep in mind that your actions while holding the position must at all times adhere to the laws set in place for maintaining order throughout the layered. Reports of any questionable activities will result in your immediate dismissal and revoke of all rights, privileges, and associations as a Raven. Good luck to your endeavors. In other words, just follow the rules and you can keep your job. Welcome, Raven. Lane Myers. She is our handler. She will tell us what jobs are available for us at our rank, how to rank up, and how we can do our job if we need any help. She's supposed to be there to help us. In other words, her big job is to get us jobs. Now, I'm going to leave these on the screen so you can read them in your leisure. I am not going to read through all of them because you, like I said, you get messages every single mission. So, I'm going to go through the UI and we'll see how long this takes. So, we're going to start with the mail. Mail is just that. Every mission you complete, you will get a message here in the mail. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you get multiples. In the arena, you have different ranks. So I am currently E10, which means I am technically unranked. Every time you beat one of these guys in the arena, you take their rank. You can't challenge anybody except for the one right above you. So I can't like jump up here and say, I want to challenge Vice and E2. I can't do that. In order to get to Vice, I have to go through all of these guys along the way. So you can challenge all these guys along the way. There's 10 in E, 15 in D, let's see, 15 in C, 7 in B, and 3 in A. And if you can clear Ace, you get the top. So in the arena, the advantages to doing the arena, and you don't want to do the arena right away because you don't have the equipment to do this. But whenever you challenge these guys, you will get money. And when you beat certain opponents, you'll actually get equipment. And we'll see how the equipment's done in a minute. But you'll actually get different pieces of equipment that you can use. That way you don't have to buy it. There are also unique equipments that you can only get through the arena. So system menu, this is your normal stuff. Save your data, which I'm going to do right now. Since we don't have a save state. Let's save our date. and we'll move on from here. This is important. You need to make sure you always do a save periodically, like most games. Load your data, emblem save. So you can actually edit your emblems, and this is actually pretty cool. You can do that, and when you do your emblems, this game actually has a cool feature. When you edit your emblem, it supports the mouse. Most games do not support the PlayStation 2 mouse. This one supports the mouse, so you can do your emblem. So you can make your custom emblem. I have not created an emblem, though I may do that at some point. Garage. This is where you spend most of your time when you're not in missions. You have a couple different areas here. Let's see here. Start with the assembly. In the assembly, you can see every piece of equipment you have for a specific location. In this case, we have heads listed. And you can see you have all the stats on here. How much weight it has, how much energy it drains, how much armor it has, and so on. Important numbers here is your weight and your energy. On the left-hand side, the unit will tell you how much it weighs and how much energy it requires. On the right-hand side, you have total AP, which is your armor points. Your weight, that's how heavy your mech is. Remember, heavier mechs with smaller engines means you're gonna move slower. It's a thing. Your energy output, how much you have versus how much you're using. So in this case, the energy output, we're using 4,800, almost 5,000 of our 6,000. Our core weight. This is also important, how much we weigh. Core weight is how much the mech weighs if you were to get rid of all the extra equipment. So it's just the mech. The legs weight, the loose weight rather, the legs weight. So the core weight's your body, your chest. The leg weight is how much the whole mech weighs, is how much the legs weigh with all the weight. We got that together, you get your 5,800, but you gotta remember your weights are important. So your offensive points, that's how much damage you can theoretically do. Your defense is how much damage you can theoretically take. So you have different parts. You have a head, the core, the chest piece. So with these legs and our engine, if we had more than one chest piece, the maximum that could be for our WP is going to be that 35,000. But we only have one, so we can't use that. That's just again. Again, we have arms. I gotta move my arms. That's it. I can move my arms and we have no weight in our core. It's pretty funny. And your legs. So now we have the different parts that actually matter. For early game. Early game, the legs, the chest, the head, the arms, don't really worry about those at first. You'll get some along the way, and you'll be able to look at those later and get new ones to fit out the kind of mech you want to use. However, important ones. The booster. This is the boost bar that's on the left-hand side. It's how much boost you have, and it's how fast it regenerates when it's depleted or when it's lowered. So if it's not completely out, but it's just you use some of it and it regens. The better the booster, the faster that regens. FCS, that's your fire control system. We have a basic fire control system right now. If you check at the left-hand side, it says how much weight, energy, and maximum lock is 2, so it can keep track of 2 targets. It's the maximum targets it can keep track of. So, it can keep track of 1 target, and it can lock a maximum of 2 times. So if your missiles support multi-fire, you can lock 2 missiles. If you had a 4 missile launcher, this FCS would not do you any good. You can't lock 4 missiles, only 2, and only on 1 target. Now you can get Later ones you can get that are multi-targeted and can go up to like say 12. So you can unload a ton of missiles on a single or multiple targets. And that's really cool. You generate this is how much power you can get. So this generates how much the amount of energy you have. Notice the second line there is energy output. If you have a higher one here, you can generate more energy. Now it does have a red line, you can't go over that. Yeah, you don't really want to, but you can. It's okay. The radiator is how fast you can cool. So if you get overheated, this also helps with your booster cooling. So it's good important to keep that in mind. Inside these are other modules. This can be weapons and so on. Other weapons or other systems. So we'll get to those in a minute. Extensions the same way. Now we also have optional parts. We don't have any of these at the moment. I'll show you those in the shop. So it's like you have heads. You have all kinds of different heads. Like this one here is a comm type standard radar provided. So this one has a radar installed. So you don't. If you notice, I have this wing on the back of my mech. That is a radar. If it has radar provided in the headpiece, you don't need that. You can actually put another weapon there. If you don't have a radar provided in your headpiece, then you have to have that in order to be able to track and target enemies. Like this has got radar or not. If we use this head, we have to have a radar. We have to have a radar somewhere else on the mech in order to have the best things. So comm type detail. So we're gonna get more information on our enemies, but we have to have a second. We have to have a second slot for our radar. So this is rough intel. Wow, must be bad. So it's the amount of information you get on the different mechs. You can get some pretty hefty ones here. So these get pretty expensive. Like this one here. It has the radar, and it's really detailed. But it's 53,000 credits. That's a lot of money when you're starting out. We have 0. So keep that in mind. What you want to do, where you want to go. These are the cores we have available to us for the time being. Eventually we can get new cores. So like this, which one's the one that's like super heavy armor? Like this one here, these are heavy armor cores. This one's really a unique core because this one has a weapon built into it. See those 2 pads in the back? They're actually energy weapons that you can use. So it gives you one more weapon type. It's pretty interesting. Different arms, these are different weighted arms. The weight of the arm determines how much it can carry. So if it doesn't have if it's not a very sturdy arm, it can't carry very much. It also has to do with your recoil. So if you use a weapon like a machine gun, arms matter. You want to have a high recoil control. If you want to use machine guns, if you're going to use machine gun, you want to use something like this or this. This is a built-in gun now. So that's kind of different. These are missile pods. Again, missile pods. A bazooka. These are fixed weapons. They're actually pretty useful. Not as useful as other weapons. We have different legs. Light, medium, heavy armor legs. Remember your lighter legs like these are going to carry a lot of weight, but they're going to move faster. Versus something heavy like this one is going to be slow. It's going to have a lot of defense. You can have a lot of weapons and armor on that. I believe, here we go. There's also quads. These give you high stability and pretty good movement. I believe, yep, here's the tracked ones. So these give high speed forward and back, not so good speed left and right, and a pretty good turning. These are pretty decent. Then there's the hover units. These are the best all around, but they have other issues. Like when any of these tracked or hover units, they don't have good side-to-side movement. They have decent turn rates and decent acceleration going forward and backward. They don't have good turns. So you gotta keep that in mind too. Boosters. These are additional push-ups. So like this one here, I believe is the different boosters you can have. So this is different amount of energy, drains, maximum weight, maximum speed. It's like boost power. Like this one here has 13,000 versus 14,000. And ours is around this right, around 8,000. It's not much, but it's enough. It's a boost. Product control systems. I mentioned these before. So like this one here can target multiple mechs. So I can get multiple MTs blocked. And it can fire up to 6 rounds. So we get like 3 on one and 3 on another. Type thing. This one goes to 12 missiles and so on. This one does 3, this one does 6. There's different ones in here. Like I said, you get more of them. The generators, this is just how much energy you get. Radiator, that's your coolant. There's, again, different choices for those, depending on how you build this. Now, inside, these are additional equipment. So, in this case, there's missile systems. There's ECM pods. So, these are defensive anti-missile systems and anti-lock systems. Radar suppressors. Mobile radar. These are mobile, they're for duplicating decoys. So these make it look like there's more of you out there. So the enemies don't see you. Now, I've never used decoys. They might be useful in some missions, but most missions, no. You're better off either doing nothing or adding in one of these auxiliary weapon systems. Extensions are on top of your arms, so they're on the end of your arms. And these, again, are usually more weapons. So, interlocking support missiles, more lock missiles. I think there's an anti-missile system in here somewhere. Provides emergency energy. Accelerated radiators, so you can boost faster. Side shields. I may not have them available yet. This is the missiles we had in the back, which is this one here. And there's more missile systems in here. Larger missiles, that's the dual missile. This is actually pretty good, if I remember correctly. That dual. What's in here? That's actually pretty good, if I remember correctly. Some is pretty good. Rockets, which just go straight forward, non-targeting, not locking. This is a minigun. These have their drawbacks. They do a lot of damage if you can get them set still. But if you're in a lagged mech, you have to squat in order to fire these things, and they will. They've got the drawbacks. I might play with those later. The same with the bazookas. These heavy weapons on the shoulders, you have to basically stop moving in order to use some of them. Not always a good thing. Different sensors that you have available. Big missile pods, jetpacks. Yeah, different things in there. Your normal guns. It's like we have. What do we have here? Standard rifles, sniper rifles. There's machine guns. There's probably submachine guns in here. Lasers, bazookas, and so on. Lots of different weapon systems that you can use depending on what you're looking for. Beam weapons. This is a sword arm. It's a physical weapon. So left arms. These are your actual blades. This one here has a couple of melee weapons in it. These. But these are your actual melee weapons. These are the ones you normally would use. So you always have these blade weapons, and I believe there's also shields. Yeah, there's a shield in here. These are yeses. So you can swap out if you don't want to use the cutting blade. Or there's a howitzer, so it's a grenade. It's a mortar shell. Or beam cannon or flamethrower. But most of the time you just use the energy weapons. Types of rocks, we mentioned this before. These are the ones that you want to really think about. They take a different type of slot. If you notice, this takes 2 slots. Your core tells you how many option slots you can have. Back here. Core. Options slot. Support was ahead. Hold on, where is it? Where's the option slots? Okay, I forget. We'll have to look. So, option slots. So it tells you how many option slots you have. This does not count towards weight. The important part of these is that they allow you to figure out and shore up your weaknesses. It's like this one here stops lock-ons so they can't do missiles. This one lets you lock on faster, so you don't have to worry about that one. This gives you a larger locking set. That's actually its advantage in some missions. Turn rate. This is probably the one that you should get first, because most of the mechs have very bad turns. Turn radius, especially in the early. So that's a good early mod to get. But play with them. Look and see what you got. Tough nut, that's everything. So, you can paint your mechs, change your emblems, change your colors. Like I said, the emblem system here allows you to sample. Samples. So you can get some basic emblems. Let's see if there's anything here that strikes my fancy. Kind of like the blue cats. Love that. I can also go here and edit it. And this is where the mouse comes in. So you can go in here and actually edit it at the pixel level, where you can use the controller normally. It's really cool. So it allows you to really customize your mechs. Sample colors, so you just pick up. There we go. Yep. We're gonna use that color. And we're gonna use this emblem. And let's go with that. Cockpit view. So you can change some information on the cockpit. You have different items in here. Sometimes this is actually worth putting on some of these. Displays the percentage of remaining opponents. Kind of like that one on. That one's really not that useful. Speedometer is not that useful. Altimeter is not useful in most cases. So I'll put that on. And again, we can change the color here. Let's find something that we kind of like. Yellow's kind of hard on the eyes. I think that orange is probably the best one. I'll put that later. So you can name each of your mechs. You've got 3 of them you can work with. All customizable, so you have 3 completely different mechs. This one could be a walker. This one could be a quad. And this one here could be one of those hover units or something. And there's the test unit. Now there's 2 different tests here. The AC test 1 is just you testing the targeting and guns of your mech. The AC test 2 is you testing against 2 MTs. That gives you an idea. So that's the basics of the game. Missions here, we can also select our mission that we want to go to. In this case, we have 2 different missions available. This one and this one. Not that big of a deal. So that's the basics of the interface and the game. This will be a separate video so that you can get an idea of what the game looks like. And we're also going to run this in tandem with a video that actually has more gameplay. So next time we're going to be looking into gameplay. And I look forward to seeing you. This is Armor Core 3. Let's get into the game.